Hey, how's everyone doing? Today, I'm going to be showing you how to complete the Forsaken Easter egg solo and co-op. In this video, I'm even going to show you how to complete the Super Easter egg, but before we get into the class setup, I do want to say that this Easter egg is incredibly easy and the boss fight is even easier. So without further ado, let's get into it. To start with the class setup, I recommend taking in the Gallo SA-12 shotgun because I like it, but honestly, this is really only going to be used until we get the Chrysalax, so keep that in mind. If you have the Gallo leveled up and want to use my attachments, then here you go. For the muzzle, I had on the duckbill choke. The barrel had on the 23.5-inch cavalry lancer. On the body, I had the SWAT 5MW laser sight. For the magazine, I equipped the Stanag 12-round tube, and then finally for the stock, I had on the marathon stock. Again, these attachments are optional. If you want to use them, then do so. If not, then you can bring in whatever else you want to bring in. For the specialist weapon, I recommend taking in Ether Shroud to avoid taking downs, and in general, it's just good to use. If you don't want to bring that in, I can also recommend taking in Ring of Fire for extra damage output on the boss. Step 1 of this Easter egg is making your way to Pack-a-Punch, but to do this, you need to leave spawn because rounds will continuously progress until you leave for the first time. I would say as soon as you spawn in, interact with the portal to have a 30-second timer start, and when it's over, go through the portal. Staying in spawn works for building points, but you'll fly through rounds way faster, so I don't recommend staying. When you get into the map, make your way to this portal on the opposite side of Main Street and go through it. You'll now need to make your way to this portal in fuel processing, but this one is broken and you'll need to fix it, finding 4 different parts, and each of these parts has 3 different possible spawn locations. The circuit board can be found in the video store on these boxes under the stairs, to your back right on this shelf, or to your back left on this crate. The focusing lens can be found in the cinema on this mannequin, behind the county counter on this shelf, or on this bench in the corner of the room. The fryer cage is inside of Burger Town sitting on this trash bin under the flag, to the left of the soda fountain, or to your back left on the condiment counter. Finally, the cathode ray tube is found in the TV store on this shelf near the window, in the corner of the room on this tray, or behind the counter on this shelf. When you have all 4 of the parts, head over to the teleporter and fix it, then go through it. You'll be teleported to the bunker, and if you run to the very back of the amplifier, you'll see once again another fucking teleporter. But it's all good. When you go up to it, an abomination will spawn, and these things aren't hard to kill. They act like Margwas from Black Ops 3, so if you shoot the eye when it's open, you'll take away 1/3 of its health, but unlike Margwas, you can still damage it even if the eye is closed. It'll just be way less damage being done. When the abomination is killed, you can go through the portal to be taken to Pack-a-Punch. You can't stay here long, otherwise you'll die of radiation poisoning, but while here, press this button on the control panel to start the Easter egg, and immediately after, turn around and press this button on the wall for a short cutscene to play in-game. When that cutscene ends, you'll be on to step 2. To start this, you'll need to get 3 different parts to build the Neutralizer, which won't be used until the end of the Easter egg, but it's better to get the parts now. The first one can be grabbed by coming into the bunker and heading into the boardroom. At this point, an abomination should spawn in, but if not, you need to flip rounds until one does spawn, and when you do get one, you need to get it to do a charged run at this wall to knock down this spacecraft looking thing. When it falls down, it'll drop the first part, and this is probably the easiest one to get. The second part can be obtained by getting dead wire on any weapon and then coming into the arcade. You need to kill a zombie next to this arcade machine that says Grand Prix on it, but the catch is, as you can guess, is dead wire has to activate on the zombie. Upon doing this, the arcade machine will turn on and you need to play the game, but it costs 1,000 points, and as soon as you do, you'll start controlling an ARCXD that sends out pulses that kill zombies around it. Take the RCXD to the TV store, and behind the counter there will be a vent that one of those blasts needs to knock away. Then you need to drive it through the vent and detonate the RCXD in this corner. By the way, if you happen to fail with the RCXD, it's all good, you can get another one by interacting with the arcade machine for another 1,000 points. The zombies won't attack you while you're using it in solo too. When you blow it up in that corner, run to the TV store, and now that second part will be sticking out of this hole in the wall for you to pick up. The final part can be obtained by coming to fuel processing. On each of the 4 fuel tanks, there will be a control panel that every person in your game will need to interact with at the same time. So have every person at a different one, and in solo you can pick any one of the panels to interact with. It doesn't matter. After you interact with those panels, a lockdown is going to start, and you just need to survive and kill zombies until the 4 fuel tanks are filled. There is a progress bar on the tanks themselves, but I never looked at it, so it's there if you want to know how far you've gone. When the lockdown is over, everything will despawn and the final part will be sitting on the floor in the middle of the 4 fuel tanks. When you have all 3, don't do anything yet because we'll come back to them before the boss fight. At this point, we're going to work on getting the Chrysalax. There are 3 crystals you need to get in various different ways. The first one can be found starting on round 9 by coming to Main Street, and inside of Jim's Donuts there will be a force field surrounding it. All you have to do is kill a bunch of mini bosses in the area to get it to go away. These mini bosses will automatically start spawning in when you get into the area, so just constantly be checking on it to see if you can pick up the crystal. The second crystal can be obtained when a tormentor dies to fire damage. I've seen people say use a Molotov, but that never worked for me, so I would say spend 100 rare salvage at the crafting bench to get a flamethrower and use it on a tormentor to get the second crystal to drop. The final crystal can be grabbed by getting an abomination to spawn, and you need to get it to destroy an ether crystal on the floor with its electric beam attack. Once the crystal breaks due to the attack, the final Chrysalax crystal can be picked up. Now you need to take all 3 of the crystals to the particle accelerator and place them in this clear tub of water. You need to get 10 melee kills next to it and the crystals will reforge into the Chrysalax, now allowing you to pick it up. For step 3, there's going to be 3 giant crystals in the map, which I'm sure you've seen by now, but now that we have the Chrysalax, we can do this step. There's one in spawn, another in Main Street on the storage zone 5 rooftops, and finally there's one in the amplifier. Around each of these crystals, there's going to be 3 orbs floating around it, and you need to destroy the orbs, but when you destroy one of the orbs, the other 2 will start to move faster, and when you destroy the second orb, the final one will move even faster. While doing this, a load of zombies and mini bosses will start to spawn in, so you'll both need to defend yourself and try to track the orbs as best as possible. You have an unlimited amount of time to do this, so there's no need to rush, and it might take you a minute to destroy the final orb, but when you do destroy it, pull out the Chrysalax and destroy the crystal. Inside the crystal, there will be a small rock that you need to pick up, and this rock will replace your tactical equipment. An abomination will spawn in, and you need to throw that rock into its mouth while it's open, or while it's getting ready to attack you. The abomination will pause and swallow it, then its tail will start to glow orange. At this point, you need to kill it, and it will drop another crystal you need to pick up, and that crystal will fill up the fuel tank in your inventory 1/3 of the way. The fuel tank goes to the Neutralizer, which is why I didn't have you do anything with it yet, and also if the abomination doesn't swallow the rock, then in the same spot a second one should have spawned. So now you have to do this 2 more times with the other crystals that you haven't gone to yet. Destroy the 3 orbs, destroy the crystal with the Chrysalax, pick up the rock and throw it down the abomination's throat, then kill it and pick up the crystal to fuel the canister in your inventory 2/3 of the way. Now do it 1 more time, and after you've done this 3 times in total, we're ready to move on to step 4. This step is going to require you to build the Neutralizer in Main Street on this crafting bench here. After you do that, there's going to be a ton of dialogue, and eventually someone will say start the Neutralizer. Interact with it and the rubble will despawn behind it, as well as there will be a bubble around it that spawns in. You need to stay close to this device to get it to move, and when looking at it, you'll notice it's consuming fuel at a faster than normal rate. So when you look outside of the bubble on both the floor and scaffolding around you, there will be these orange crystals that you need to destroy to get a piece of it for more fuel. Just pick up the smaller crystal and bring it back to the device to refuel it, and keep in mind that when you leave the bubble you'll take damage, so be quick about it. You need to keep doing this until the bubble disappears and the machine falls on the floor in front of this blast door. At this point we're in the boss fight, so when you come to the blast door you can open it to start the boss fight, but don't do it quite yet. You'll notice around you that the Pat machine, a Wonder Fizz, and the crafting benches will be there. This is your absolute last chance to get set up. I recommend that you pap the Chrysalax to tier 3 and get all the perks you want to bring in. I also recommend, whether you're in solo or co-op, bring in a self-revive, and everything else is completely optional. When you're ready for the boss fight, interact with the door and it will open, allowing you to enter the arena. This boss has 2 different phases and only has 4 different attacks. The first one only happens when you get too close to him and he'll slam his fist down. The second one allows him to send out balls of electricity that will follow you and eventually explode. Just avoid these by running around until they explode. The third attack is the same as the electricity balls, but this time he'll send out a ring of ice that can completely freeze you and slow you down, but it also will follow you around. This one isn't too bad unless there's a ton of zombies surrounding you. The final attack is a laser beam that he'll send out and will down you if you're not careful, but this is easy to dodge because he moves slow, so usually you can outrun it. To take him down, he has armor, so you need to destroy the crystals on his shoulders first. Destroying one will only bring his armor down halfway, so you need to destroy both shoulders. To do that, I recommend using the Chrysalax's SMG ability. Basically, convert it into an SMG and just use that. When his armor is gone, if you head over to where Samantha is and convert the Chrysalax back into a melee weapon, you'll see that she has a ring of fire, and you need to charge her up by killing zombies in that ring until the progress bar on the left is full. She's then gonna go to one of these large cannons and charge it up for you. Get on the cannon and aim it at one of his shoulders and shoot it until a quarter of his health is gone. Then you need to do the same thing and charge up Samantha again by killing zombies in her ring of fire. She's then gonna go to another cannon and charge it up again. Then get on that one and shoot his other shoulder until his health is half gone. At this point, the Forsaken will take you into an in-game cutscene teasing Terminus, and when it's over, you'll be pulled out by Samantha. Now just rinse and repeat, this time destroying the crystals on his stomach, then charge up Samantha by using the ring of fire. She'll charge up a cannon and then target his stomach with the cannon. Rinse and repeat all of that again, this time targeting his head for the armor, and then again with the cannon. When you've done all that, you'll go down, but don't worry, this is a scripted event and it's supposed to happen. A cutscene will happen, and when it's over, you'll be put back into the game for like all of a minute just to be put back into another cutscene. I don't know why they couldn't just make it a fluid cutscene. It seems kind of dumb to me, but oh well. When that second cutscene starts, that's the end of the Easter egg, and sadly, once again, you'll not receive an achievement for completing this, but we're not quite done yet. This game does have a super Easter egg, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. Starting in the menu, load up a match of Outbreak Collapse because you get to vote on the starting map. If you do just a regular Outbreak match, it's going to suck because the map is random and you need to go to Zoo. So in the Collapse menu, if you don't see Zoo, then back out and go back into the lobby until you see Zoo as a map choice, then vote for it. In the game, come to this area of the map and there will be a podium you can interact with, and surrounding the podium there will be 6 pillars that will be lit up depending on how many Easter eggs you've done. So if you've only done one, then only one pillar will be lit up. And by the way, there's 6 because Outbreak has 2 Easter eggs. Interacting with the podium will play a cool animation, but since I've already done it, it's not going to play again. The rewards you get are dependent on how many Easter eggs you've done, so if you do 2 and interact with the podium, you'll start every game after that with a green rarity weapon. Then 4 Easter eggs will be blue and 6 will be purple. You can also get rewards like emblems and calling cards, as well as I think a unique watch or something like that. Lastly, if you make the pact and later decide that you want to change and go back to like a classic gameplay feel and not start with an upgraded weapon, then you can always come back to this map and area to break the pact. You can also always re-enable it too, if you want to. I want to thank all of you for watching this video. I know it was slightly longer due to the super Easter egg, but in total, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I also want to apologize if me stuttering or there seems like there's weird cuts or something like that. I was having a hard time recording this. I don't know what was happening, but I was having all sorts of issues and problems. But anyway, if you've made it this far, leave a random emoji in the comments because I like to see from you guys. And I'm going to dedicate this small section of the outro to say that my next Easter egg guides are going to be on Vanguard, and I can already hear the boos, but they're still a part of the story. So here's the deal I'm going to make with you, or a trade offer if you will. I will make the Easter egg guides as well as the music Easter egg guides in short format, but I will never touch the game again after that. So that's the deal. You guys sit through 6 whole videos and then never have to see Vanguard ever again. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.